Hello FPL managers and welcome back for another video. My name's Jack and today we're going to go over our transfer plans for game week 15 as there are a couple of changes that we're looking to make to the squad. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to show support for the channel, and also click the notification bell so you guys don't miss any future uploads. As always, look out for FPL Social, which is a live in-person FPL event coming up in Melbourne in February of next year. We're going to be there, so for tickets and information click the link in the description. And with that being said, let's jump into the video. So first of all, let's have a look at how the team got on in game week 14 and discuss some weak points in the side and players that are potentially on the chopping block for some changes coming into the next game week. In goals, Danny Ward produced 3 points, which definitely wasn't the worst return considering that Leicester were playing Manchester City. Ward was he was able to make a multitude of saves, getting those save bonus points, and was also just conceding the 1 goal on that one, so we didn't take any extra minus points for conceding multiple goals, which is good to see. The double Leicester defence, though, was unfortunately having to come into play as Haaland did get benched as he didn't start for Manchester City. Castagna was the first player on the bench, so that saw him come on for 2 points as obviously Leicester couldn't get the clean sheet at home to Man City. But then good to see Anderson, Cancelo and Trippier all getting clean sheets, plus Trippier added that assist as well and a couple of bonus points, taking him up to 11. Definitely my favourite FPL asset to have in the team right now. He's been very good for us since game week 1. So very happy to have him in the defence. Looking to the midfielders, the main highlight was Mo Salah. He got himself 7 points for Liverpool, whereas Foden, Zaha and Andreas all blanked once again. Foden, it was very frustrating to see him get benched for a second consecutive game week for Manchester City, despite not playing that many minutes in the Champions League midweek. He's definitely one that we're looking to get rid of as a result, because especially judging on whether he plays in the Champions League midweek or not, that will definitely define whether or not we get him out of the squad. It definitely seems to be the case that if he's going to play in the Champions League midweek on Wednesday, then we will be looking to get him out of the team. Wilfried Zaha, on the other hand, still has some decent fixtures, so despite him not being the best signing to the squad since we brought him in around game week 9, he's still going to remain in the team. And Andreas did have to start for us. He got himself 3 points, couldn't produce anything against Everton. And then looking to the lads up top, both blanks from Mitrovic and Kane. They both had pretty good fixtures respectively. Mitrovic had Everton and Kane had Bournemouth, but they both couldn't get themselves any attacking returns. Definitely very frustrated with Harry Kane, as we did have the vice captaincy on him, as Haaland was the captain. It went to Kane and he only produced the 1 point, doubled up to 2, so definitely very frustrating there. I was hoping for a lot more considering that he was playing Bournemouth away. And then looking at our overall points, we only managed 44 points this week, an absolutely horrific game week for us. Really couldn't produce anything from this game week. There wasn't too many returns either. Salah was the only attacking player that returned, and then we only had Anderson, Cancelo and Trippier as the other returns as well, which meant we had 7 players blank in the starting 11. Obviously Haaland didn't play either. We could have had Salah on captaincy or on vice captaincy, which would have seen him go from 7 points doubled up to 14. Instead we went with Kane, who only got the 1 point, so definitely could have been a lot better. So that's seen our rank drop from 460k, quite a significant rank decrease, which is seen around a 400k to 450k rank decrease, which isn't great there. But anyway, the team is pretty well set up for game week 15, so we'll see if we can take a decent green arrow in that game week. So with that horror game week out the way, let's discuss some potential replacements that we're looking to make in the squad. As mentioned, Foden is the first one here. He's on the chopping block because he's been benched for the last 2 games in a row for Manchester City, and depending on whether or not he starts in the Champions League, he could definitely be a player that we look to replace in the midfield, especially considering some of the very good options that we're looking to replace him with, as all these 3 players here have been in great form. The first one here is Miguel Almiron. He has now produced 3 double-digit returns in a row, getting himself 32 points in his last 3 game weeks for Newcastle. He's getting himself lots of goals and assists. He does have 3 goals and 1 assist in the last 3 weeks, and he's getting on bonus points quite frequently as well. He's coming in at just £5.6 million, so it does allow us to free up some money in the squad, as currently we do have 0.0 left in the bank, so definitely could use some funds in the bank coming into game week 16. if we're looking to make any more transfers, and it also allows us to have more flexibility with the second free transfer that we have available this game week. Looking at some of Almiron's underlying stats, a 3.57 XG isn't the highest, but he has returned 7 goals and 1 assist, and has been in immense form recently for Newcastle, so he's definitely one to look at, and he's definitely got very good fixtures coming up as well. Mainly focusing on the next 2 game weeks for most of these players. Newcastle have Southampton away in game week 15, which is a very good fixture, and then Chelsea at home in game week 16. Not the easiest fixture, but it definitely could be worse, but I just really like Almiron for his good current form. Trossard, another player that's been in great form for Brighton. We did say last week that he was on the watch list. We just wanted to see whether he could replicate his performance against Manchester City once again in game week 14, and he was able to do that with another attacking return. He's coming in at 6.9, so a little bit more expensive. He does have better underlying numbers with an XG of nearly 5, and it's actually the highest XG out of any player on this list. He does have 7 goals and 2 assists also, so he does have that extra attacking return compared to Almiron, and probably has slightly better fixtures with Wolves and Aston Villa as his next 2 opponents. Wolves away, it may not seem like the easiest fixture on paper, but Wolves have conceded a lot of goals recently. They have conceded 5 goals in the last 2 game weeks, so not the best from a defensive perspective for them. And then Marcus Rashford is the third potential replacement. He's coming in at a similar price at around 6.6 million. He's got an extra 4.64, which is decent. He's coming off a goal last game week with 8 points. He's put up 4 goals and 2 assists on the season, but the main reason we're looking to get him in is because of Manchester United's very good upcoming fixtures. He definitely has the best 2 fixtures in the next 2 game weeks out of any of these 3 potential replacements here, with Aston Villa and Fulham both away, 2 defences that have conceded a lot of goals this season. And hopefully he can get more starting minutes for Manchester United, which of course would give him that extra chance of getting those attacking returns. So definitely more of a punt with Rashford, especially considering that he does have 3 goals less than Trossard and Almiron. But I really like his fixtures, and maybe he could go on a good scoring run for Manchester United. So now let's have a look at the second player that we're looking to replace is Joachim Andersen. He is coming off a clean sheet in game week 14, but Crystal Palace do face West Ham away in game week 15, and with the extra money that we've potentially freed up by getting rid of Phil Foden to one of those cheaper midfielders, we can afford an upgrade in defence, so we are definitely looking to capitalise on the next 2 game weeks in terms of fixtures to maximise the most clean sheets possible, as all of these 3 players here do have good fixtures in the next 2, which we're hoping for at least 1 clean sheet over the next 2 game weeks. And the first one here is Ruben Diaz. He's coming in at £5.9 million. This could easily be another Manchester City defender, just depending on who starts in the Champions League midweek for them. Currently, Diaz does have the most minutes in the Premier League and is probably the most nailed starter in the Premier League. But if he does play in the Champions League midweek, then we may look to go for another Manchester City defensive asset instead of him. But for now, as we know with Diaz, he's not really much of a goal scorer or assister. He's just there for the clean sheet points and potentially some extra bonus points as well. And I would expect a Man City to probably get 2 clean sheets in the next 2 games, considering they face both Fulham and Brentford at home in the next 2. Definitely would be looking for at least 6 points in both of those matches for Diaz. On the other hand, Delo is one that's a bit cheaper but offers more attacking potential. He's got a 1.25 XA so far this season, and he's been one that's been able to record quite a few clean sheets, with 5 so far for Manchester United, and he's hopped on bonus points quite frequently as well for them, coming off 3 bonus points last game week for Manchester United as well. So with Aston Villa and Fulham both away in the next 2 game weeks, definitely a good chance for Manchester United to build on their good defensive form recently and hopefully get at least 1 clean sheet in the next 2 games, and maybe Dalot can get forward and chip in with an assist. The third one here is a similar type of player to Darlow. It is Mikalenko. He's coming in at a similar price of around £4.5 million. He does have 1 clean sheet less than Darlow, but he has a better all-round XG and XA combined, as both his XG and XA are sitting at 0.42. He's obviously got 4 clean sheets this season. He's got Leicester at home and Bournemouth away as his next 2 fixtures, so definitely another decent next 2 fixtures from a defensive perspective. And Everton have recorded 2 clean sheets in the last 2 games and actually only conceded 1 goal in the last 3 matches. So another defense that's been in very good form recently. So just depending on whether Foden is going to play in the Champions League and also whether Diaz plays in the Champions League for Manchester City, these changes could definitely be made. If I had to pick my favourite replacement out of all the Anderson replacements, it probably would be either Diogo Dalot or Diaz. If Diaz does get rested in the Champions League for Man City, then he definitely will be my favourite defensive replacement for Anderson. So we'll have to see how that pans out. Thanks for watching today's transfer plans for Game Week 15. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to show support for the channel, and also click the notification bell so you guys don't miss any future uploads. As always, look out for FPL social. Tickets and information to that are in the description down below, and with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one.